see trees of green, roses too. I see them blue. Think to myself, what a wonderful world. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is the Psychic Spectrum Radio Show on the Psychic Spectrum Radio Network. I am Skip, and today I am live with you. I want you to think about what's going on today. Think about things you have questions for, and go ahead and type those things in, and I would love to answer them for you in just a few minutes when we get into the show. But I want to tell everybody that Sharon's not with me today. I'm flying solo. She's hoping to be back with us on, what's today, Saturday, so next Tuesday at 1 o'clock, and we'll see what happens from there. So anyhow, I hope you're having a good weekend. Oh, Nancy, she says, hello, I'm new here. Well, hi. Hello. Welcome to the Psychic Showcase, or the Psychic Spectrum Radio Show. I'm thinking about 9 things I have to announce here. Oh, Nancy, hold on to that question. I'll get to you in just a minute. I'm going to take questions in just a little bit. Okay. I have some housekeeping to do here. Sharon is not with me today. She is taking care of some business for her own self. And I'm flying solo today. Otherwise, normally you would get 2 of us. The show that we're doing today is always Tuesdays and Saturdays at 1. Sometimes we can't be there live, so we do a replay usually when we can't. So all of our shows are archived on the internet. All you have to do is open up your favorite podcast app, go there and type in Psychic Spectrum Radio, and we will pop up with a bunch of shows for years worth of shows, and you can listen to them at your leisure. So anyhow, if you would do me a favor, whatever platform you're on right now, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, or LinkedIn, type in your location where you're from, because we're just curious, that's all. And then also give us a like and a share. And if you would like to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, you can go to YouTube, type in Psychic Spectrum Radio, and then click on the subscribe button, click on the little bell, and you'll get notified every time we have a show, when a show's coming live. So, or even if it's a replay. And then, hello, hello, XX, hello, XXX. How are you doing? Haven't seen you for a while, but I hope you're doing well. One other thing, let's see. Oh, website. Our website, psychicspectrum.com, has been reworked. There's one little glitch I'm still trying to fix on it, and I'm working on that this weekend. And I hope to have it fixed by next Wednesday, because it involves a psychic showcase. This week, some of the people didn't get their links to click into the show, so I had to manually enter everybody into the radio or the showcase live stream. So if that happens, I'll do it again this week, but I'm hoping to have it fixed. So anyhow, all of our events are listed there. We do over 20 some events every month, and they're all, you can partake in all of them except one online. ONN, thanks. She said subscribed on YouTube and linked and shared here. Good, thank you. I appreciate that. And Crystal, hi. How are you? Back to business. Let's see. Okay. Coming up on the first Saturday of the month, we have our monthly Talking to the Other Side that Sharon and I do. And that's the only one that's not broadcast online. It's strictly in person. Oh, yeah, that's right. I just read that. Noah. Hope Sharon doing okay. Yes, she is. She's doing better. Slowly but surely, she's better. Anyhow, where was I? Oh, Talking to the Other Side. It's coming up on the first Saturday of the month. And it's done live at the Poodle Dog Restaurant in the boardroom in Fife, Washington, which is very close to where we are. We live in Federal Way, Washington. So there's 2 sessions to choose from, an afternoon and an evening one. We did that because we were at room capacity. And in the fall and winter, it's pretty much always at room capacity. And so we had to create a second session. Plus, it allowed people who didn't want to drive at night to come down in the daytime, and those that couldn't make it in the daytime because they had things to do on a Saturday, they could choose for the night session. So anyhow, the afternoon and evening session you can choose from. It's all listed on the website. Every event's listed on the website. Website has been revamped and reworked, and there is an announcement that on some of our events, after 24 years, we have had to raise the price just a little. Okay, we kept the prices the same for 24 years, everybody. And that price was always $5. Okay, so like the showcase is going to go up to $7. So it's just a necessity. We just can't function and pay all the bills with it that have to do with our events at $5 a person. So anyhow, whether you're online or in person, the psychic showcase is going to be $7 starting September 1st. So I don't think $2 is going to break anybody, but if it does, let us know and we'll try and work it out for you. All right. I'll get to you guys' questions in just a minute or two. I want to say a couple other things. Let's see. We announced this once, but I want to announce it again for those of you that knew him. A friend of ours named Tony, we called him the Horse Whisperer. And Tony had his own form of Reiki that he did. And he was also trained as a Reiki master. But anyhow, Tony passed away. And they had his memorial for him at the racetrack in Auburn, Washington, at the Emerald Downs racetrack. Tony was literally the horse whisperer. The man had some kind of a magic connection with horses, and he would travel all over the West Coast and even across country. People would have him come and work on their horses. If they had problems physically or mentally, he would work with them. And he was an amazing guy. So Tony passed away. I believe he was 80. Gosh, I'm not sure. 87, I think. Anyhow, rest in peace, Tony. We're going to miss you. He's a pretty good guy. So let's see. I want to say hi. Okay, I did all that. Oh, Mort, hi. How you doing, Mort? And Debbie's with us. Yay. Yeah, Noha. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Okay, I'm gonna go back up and I'm gonna start doing questions. So why don't we do this? You guys type them in if you want now. I'll go back up to here. Oh, and Sandra's with us. And Spencer. Hey, how are you and Karen doing? Let's see, Sandra. No, I'm okay. Back up to the top here. I'm gonna look for questions. Here we go. Nancy, she says, how do I move forward without someone who has chosen not to be part of my life? I need some peace in my heart and direction from my spiritual guides. First of all, Nancy, whatever you want from through your guides to the universe, to God, whatever you want to call it, or spirit, I think what you need to do is say it out loud, and you may have to do it more than once, but you ask for it because the Bible says, ask and you shall be given. Okay. That's noise unto the Lord. So that is not only just singing, but it is also asking, talking. So that's step number one. Step number two is you're looking at this as something negative. And I'm not saying it's not. What I'm saying is for you is you can look at things as a lesson or a blessing. Okay. It's sometimes, that's that song. Sometimes God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers. maybe that person is not supposed to be in your life, and God, through divine intervention, your spirit is kind of pushing them out of the way. And I think that's what's happened in your case, is that that person's not supposed to be in your life. It could be for many, many different reasons or just one different reason. But whatever the case is, not supposed to be in your life. And this is a psychic hit, I'm telling you right now, is that I don't think it would have been good for you in person, or dragged into um, their energetic ball around them, their things going on with them. So I hate to say it, Nancy, but I think you kind of got a gift on this one. I know that's hard to take, but bless and release. But that person needs to be loved by somebody else just over there. Get them over there, put them aside. And trust me, if someone's meant to be in your life, it will happen. Okay. Um, for whatever reason, sometimes we never do know the reason. So it's just, that's the way it is. Um, Noha had a question. She said, "Where is she today?" Okay, let me tell you real quick. The psychic showcase that we do every Wednesday, we just did one on this last Wednesday. And it was one of the first ones that she's been to in, gosh, probably a month. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but she had back surgery. She had spinal fusion. Two vertebrae were fused together and a disc replaced in between them. That's about, she's in her 5th month out from that at this point. Um, she was supposed to start physical therapy, or at least do the intake on it, this last, like a couple days ago, 22nd. Oh, that was yesterday. Anyhow, she's going next week, but this surgery has kind of played havoc with her metabolism, and they're trying to get it under control, but she has low sodium count in her body, and they think it's because of the medication that she's taking for all this stuff, but they're not sure, and they won't know until some more tests. I think it's on Monday. She has goes to the doctor and then gets tests done. But anyhow, she is just, when she gets up, she gets dizzy, so she's taking care of herself and relaxing. So she's laying in bed is what she's doing all day. She got up, had breakfast, and went back to bed. So, and the Wednesday at the showcase, as soon as it got done, because this was kind of a stress on her body, I guess, being the first one that she'd done in a few weeks, she we got all done. She made it through like the 3 hours, 3.5 hours of the whole, from beginning to end, set up to close up and everything, plus the event itself, which is generally about an hour, hour and a half, hour and a half. Anyhow, she made it through all that, and oh boy, all of a sudden she was going to pass out. So we had her lay down on one of the bench seats in the restaurant there, and I got her into the car. We went straight to the emergency room, and they told her what happened. And this has happened once before to her since the surgery. So that's what she's doing. She's taking care of that, taking care of herself. Um, yes, I'm Crystal. I was going to do that and I forgot. The numerology for today is a 2. It actually adds up to 22, which is a master number for relationships. Um, So relationships are going to be significant. They're going to be important. They're going to stand out. And you're going to need to deal with relationships today. Okay. And if it's a master number, which is a 22, it all adds up to the 22, the 8, 24, 2024. Is that the date today? 24th? Yeah. Yeah. It all adds up to a 22. So, and if you break it down to a 2, it's still relationships. It's just not a master number, which is um, relationships. A master number is relationships on steroids. So, um, in the card of the day, I'm going to get to in a few minutes, but this is important. In fact, let's do it now. I drew this card this is interesting now that added up the numbers for the numerology. This card that I drew, it's all about taking and exercising control, or controlling yourself, or controlling the situations around relationships. But that is my rune card that I pulled, and it is the R, which the name of the card is Rad, or Rado, whatever you want to, whichever language you or use practice that you translate it to. But anyhow, it's Rad, and it's the journey or the process that you're on, and it's about paying attention to control, or not exercising control, or actually exercising control in the correct way, um, for the things that you do. Okay. So there you go. And I appreciate that, Crystal. Yeah, I miss Sharon's jokes too. It's like I say on Wednesday night, it's in the delivery, and I can't deliver them like she does. If they're a dirty joke, I'm good to go. But if they're the kind of jokes she tells, and she makes me tell them every week, um, I can't deliver them like she does. Noha has a question. She says, I have a question about my love life, please. I have been very patient with divine timing, but things are taking forever. Anything positive coming soon, please? Noha, I want to tell you that there's not anything what I would call positive. It's just that it's where you are. It really feels to me like there's everything is in transition or in flux, and it's like nobody's committing to much, nobody's moving forward, everybody's trying to maintain. And so I think that's the reason why nothing's happening. And this will break loose for you in about, oh gosh, there's a little bit of it happening, probably mid-November, for about a month, and then it's going to be quiet, and what I would call everything dried up again until probably February, mid-February, on. Then all of a sudden things start opening up. Uh, so anyhow, that's how I want to describe it. But it's not to say that you can't make something happen or get out there and find somebody, or experiment and put yourself out there where somebody can find you. That always happens. So we do have free will and free choice, and you should probably try to exercise that. But I want to tell you to be really careful. Don't kiss any frogs. Okay. Um, if you understand what that means, the don't kiss any frogs. If you don't, let me know here, type it in and I'll explain it to you. Cindy says, hi, hi. Oh, hi, Cindy. I didn't see you there. And oh, Sharon's with us. She said, you need to realize you deserve better. That goes back to, let me go back up here to Nancy. Nancy says that Sharon, says you need to realize that you deserve better. So, all right, that's a good point. She's watching. She's watching. Cindy, she says, hi, Skip. A dear friend, Frank, recently passed. We will have a celebration soon. Does Frank have any words for me? Frank. No, Cindy, what I keep seeing is I'm not getting any real connection from him. What I keep seeing is, I don't know how to explain it. It's his spirit trying to metabolize or become solid. And it's like a, you know what a, like a heavy fog looks like, right? It's like this little round ball, and this fog is just kind of moving around inside of it, which tells me he's too fresh or too soon on the other side to be able to communicate, because he's trying to wear, and this is, I don't get this one very often. I've had it a few times over the years, but he's needs more time before he can communicate. But I will say this: there is a confusion over there about how could this happen, on from him. about how could this happen? Well, how did I get here? I want to go back to it. But he wants to remain on that side, but he wants to go back to his form. And so, anyhow, it's a little bit of unsettled, I guess, is what I would. Crystal says, "What are your thoughts on alternate timelines and alternate universes and dimensions?" Ooh, Crystal, good question. I do believe they exist. Einstein actually believed that they exist. So did Nikola Tesla, and they exist in their own realities. Is what their Albert Einstein's words were. Alternate universes or dimensions and timelines, they kind of all run together. Um, I don't think we have different or alternate timelines for the same thing we're going through, but in other dimensions, I guess that would equate to a timeline in that dimension. Um, and yeah, I definitely believe it, and I think people can tap into these things if and when they get into the right state of mind, either through meditation or through actual sometimes dreaming. Okay. Um, so anyhow, it just, yeah, it's there, it exists, it's there, and I think a it's there. It's so subjective, Crystal, because nothing on it can be proven. Although Einstein had a good theory about it, and he kind of proved it with his theory, but not rock solid proof. Okay. So I definitely think they exist, and I think people can tap into them um, through meditation and sometimes through lucid dreaming states. Jeannie, hi, Jeannie. She says, "Hi, Skip. Hi, Sharon." Um, let's see. And Jeannie says, "I just pulled a card for myself. I asked, what do I need to know now?" That's right. In fact, I'm going to do this right now. You know, you can take any deck, a tarot deck, a rune deck like I use, um, a angel card deck, any kind of deck that you want, even a regular playing card deck if you know how to read them for metaphysical meanings, and shuffle them, mix them up, and then pull a card. Ask a question first, but just pull a card and ask, what do I need to know? Or what's my next move? Or how is this going to happen? Um, how will it come down? And you'll get some direction. And I know that that sounds a little crazy to some people who haven't experienced this yet or don't know enough about it, but God gives us signs all the time. There's always some logic world, and instead of paying attention to signs, most people won't recognize them as a sign. They go, that's weird, that's odd. Why did that happen? Oh, that's interesting. But if you pay attention and you learn how to interpret them, um, you will have some very strong and serious and sincere direction that you can go by. So that's a good point, Jeannie. Um, once in a while, I do that myself. When I don't get an answer that I'm looking for, uh, I do that myself. Let's see, Wheel of Fortune. Okay, I don't know what that in reference to, Jeannie. Bobby, oh hi, she's Bobby. She says Montana. She's my new neighbor on the north side of my property. He's always got a chip on his shoulder. My other neighbor and I will have to deal with an easement responsibilities. Will he always be difficult? No, I think that I think he's been burned a few times in relationships with people that are not close to him. And I think it's a self-preservation or kind of like a shield. But I do think that depending on how you handle it or how you get into it with him, um, I think that you'll be able to kind of diffuse it and and not have to fight for every inch of the thing, inch of the way as you go through things with him. But pretty much though, he's going to want to stay to himself. He's that kind of a person. But I think you can break into the husk around the shell there a little bit. Okay. Just it depends, gonna all depend on how you guys handle it. And Carol's with us. Yay, Carol, how are you? Um, let's see. Debbie, she says, are we arranging stuff from the living room to storage or moving to a different place altogether? What to do this fall? I'll be honest with you, Debbie. I have to say it this way. It feels to me like moving, unless moving's going to be tough on Chuck. If you, it's going to take a little bit of a toll on him, unless you decide that you can handle it pretty much all by yourself. If you can do that, then good. I think moving would be a good idea. Um, but how busy do you want to be rearranging stuff from the living room to storage or moving to a different place altogether? I would move it to storage and then move it to another place, but you're going to be the whole work party behind the thing. And Chuck will be okay. It's just that I don't think he can handle that much activity all at once on that constant of a basis. Okay. So I would look for the move if it was me. So it's going to be kind of hard on you. But again, you could hire somebody like you did when you moved before, and make it much easier. Noha says, I have a question about my love life. I've been very patient. Oh, I already answered that. Did you hear it? Noha? If you didn't, you can go back and look for the replay and listen to it. But basically, I have to see if I can remember what I said. I remember something about November having some activity. The rest of the time, pretty much dried up. No movement there because of the location where you live. Everybody's in preservation mode. Now it's coming back. Everybody's in self-preservation mode or maintaining the status quo. So there's November, and from mid-February on, then things start to open up again and move forward all around your area in really good ways. Just a second, I have to make a note here for something I have to take care of in a minute. Okay, got it. Now, okay, Cindy, she says, thank you about Frank. I understand it is too soon. He passed on July 3rd. Rest well, Sharon. Thanks. She's hearing it. She's with us today. Jeannie says, I pulled the card, the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, okay. Now, was that from a tarot deck? Or what kind of deck was it from? My whole reason for asking that, Jeannie, is because I don't know. Apparently I don't read that deck because it's not the rune deck. And I don't know how to interpret it until you give me a little more information. Sharon says, thanks, Cindy. And Bobby, you're welcome. Sharon says, is Monday going to go well for me? This is funny because she's literally across the other side of this wall next to me here. And she's in her bedroom, our bedroom, laying in bed, and she's watching the show. Is Monday going to go well for me? Yes, but not until later on. In other words, you'll have your appointment, and I think it's probably going to take the next day until you get results from your blood work. And then you'll have um, another talk or something. But in the meantime, it'll start to get better. It'll be slow for the rest of the week, but you'll get better till the next talk. Oh, Jeannie says it's the Rider Waite Tarot deck. Well, Cindy, in my card, or Jeannie, in my card, my deck of cards, that card equates to the abundance card. And when I draw, or somebody draws the abundance card, I have to ask you, was it right side up or upside down? If it was right side up, then I will say that your abundance will grow. Now, abundance comes in many forms: happiness, material things, friends, love, work, um, that kind of thing, relaxation, or whatever you feel abundant in. And I will say that it's going to be it's going to be on the rise for you slowly but surely. And I want to tell you this too, Jeannie, is that it's literally because of the place that you picked where you live. That's a big portion of it. And will that change? Probably, but I don't see it changing for quite a while. I think you're going to be happy there, and you should look at staying there as long as you can for now. Okay. Debbie says, thanks. Yes, Chuck's will still be on chemo, so I have to be cognizant of what he can and can't do. Yeah. That it just felt like he could not only get physically overwhelmed, but he could get mentally overwhelmed. And you don't want him to do that. Always keep him in good spirits. Sandra says, Sharon, sending you lots of healing energy and love. Hug, 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 hug. That's a good one. Jeannie says it was right side up. Okay, good. Then that look for your abundance to grow. And many choices along the way on how to make that and how to keep it. So I think you're doing things right. You've cut out, let's see, this is all psychic stuff here. Okay. I'm telling you, psychic hits. Jeannie, you've cut out or you put up a wall. You listen to everybody's input. However, you put up like a shield, a wall, a shield where you stop and let yourself discern and figure out what fits best for you. And I think that's what's serving you the best. Sharon says short interpretation. Yeah, it'll go well, but you're going to be probably still on the mend for about, I want to say 4 days more after Monday. So Thursday, by next weekend, you're probably going to feel like going for a little ride in the car. Spencer says, are you picking up anything with Karen and her father this coming month? Karen and her father. Well, I don't know if Karen's dad is passed, and I don't want to know. Don't tell me. I want to say that I keep hearing the word get together, get together. Whether it's in this life or from him on the other side, there's something about wanting to keep or make or reestablish or strengthen the the bond between them. And maybe it didn't always go well, maybe it went perfect and he wants more of it, whatever the case. But or maybe there's a physical getting together. um, I don't know what it is, Spencer. All I can say is that whatever it is, Karen needs to take a serious look at it or feel it. If it's not if he's not still with us, take a serious look at the feelings behind it and get herself on the same page as far as what she wants to do, and either do it the way it's meant to be or the way that she wants it. Whatever the case is, it's up to her. I see her as having the upper hand and having, um, what do you call it? Free will, free choice, the ability to exercise her free will and free choice. Okay. And Sharon says, read the message above. Ding, ding. Short interpretation for what? It's hard when you just read the message above. Ding, ding. Anyhow, do me a favor, you guys that are whatever platform you're on, share this broadcast and get yourself signed in to YouTube if you want to subscribe. And let's see what else. Click on the little bell. Jana is with us. Yay, Jana's here in Federal Way with us. And Aaron 7894 on Twitch. Hi there. How are you doing? Thanks for joining in, Aaron. Mort says, Morton, Connecticut says, read the message above the message, short interpretation. Oh, Jeannie says, yes, I am so grateful for my new home. Good. Okay, I didn't see that because I thought she meant read her own message. All right, I did. Uh, let's see. She says, read the message above the message, short. Okay, I did. Got it. Spencer says, thanks, and you're welcome, you and Karen both. Um, where am I up here? Let me do this. Cindy Bryant says, Wheel of Fortune. Oh, what does Sharon think? She said she did mean that. Okay, the message above. Yeah, okay. I got it. I hate this weather we're having. I I I worked outside for 20 some years when I worked at the telephone company. I retired from there and went to the state to an inside job in an office as their telecommunications manager. When I worked outside, I rarely did anything more than a flannel shirt um, to in the wintertime. In the summertime, a lot of the time it was just a t-shirt or a short sleeve shirt. Oh, Vicky, and over on Oahu. Hi, how are you? Anyhow, when I worked, I hated the summer. Always said I can get warm, I just can't cool off. Now that I've retired, I hate the winter. I can get warm, but I understand since I've been retired why people want to move to Arizona or someplace like that when they retire, because I hate the heat up here and I hate the winter here. But it's just I don't know. You're happy with one and happy with the other too, or you're just unhappy with one and unhappy with the other. It's just that I hate the rain. I hated the hot sun. I don't mind like 70s, um, but when it got up into the high 80s and the 90s, it's like that's terrible. We're fortunate because we have a heat pump on our house, so we stay cool in the summer and warm in the winter. But it's just the dreariness. And here's Jana just said, it's exhaustingly dreary and cold lately. I don't like it either. I appreciate the rain, but it's not supposed to stick for long in August. Yeah, actually next week, Jana, I think it's on Wednesday. Yeah, it's on Wednesday. I think it's back up to the 80s, which surprised me. I looked at it this morning. Um, Anyhow, yeah, the weather is just driving me nuts. Sharon types in, she said, I mean, read the example of the fortune card above MT message saying short interpretation. Okay, let me go. Wheel of Fortune. All things change, such as poor becoming rich, bad becomes good. Okay, I got it. There you go. So I read that. Okay. All right. Um, Jam says, I agree about the weather. And yeah, Jam in Yakima, I agree about the weather. Yakima has blue skies most of the year, but the winters are brutal. Yeah, I know. Um, you guys can have feet of snow sometimes. And I have cousins that live in Yakima to this day, a lot of them. And we would go over there and visit them all year long. But when it's hot. And when it's cold. But that feet of snow, that drives me nuts, just like the rain does and the dreary. Jana made mention too, dreary and cold. Um, I actually was out on the deck last night when I got done with everything, and I thought about going in and putting on a jacket. That's how cold and chilly it was. Um, Sharon says, thank you, oh great one, LOL. Jessica is with us. She says, late to arrive, but hello from Summit. Well, hello back to you. Josie says, this has been one of the most intense Mercury retrogrades I have ever had. I am not sure if it gets better when Mercury is not retrograde. Too many other planets also retrograde. Your thoughts? Okay, Josie, I am not an astrologer. Understand just enough of it to be a little dangerous, but I will tell you that this has been the worst Mercury retrograde I can remember in years. Um, there has been so much crap that's gone on, gone wrong, gone south, gone the wrong way, happened the way it was not supposed to. Um, and Sharon says, I am with Josie. I got to say this, just the example of Wednesday night. We have been doing the showcase, the psychic showcase for decades, every Wednesday night. And since we've been doing it online, it's been what? Since COVID started. And I have to say this, it's things went so wrong. Our website had problems. That's why I had to rebuild it. The Zoom platform that we use for our Wednesday night showcase on to broadcast it online, it went south. It never happened before, but the people that signed up didn't get their link to click on in an email at all. And I had to put everybody in the last 3 minutes after we started the showcase. I had to take about 3 minutes and put everybody in manually that had registered to attend. And it was just a nightmare. And that's just one example. Um, I'm still trying to straighten it out with Zoom. I have to go between Zoom, PayPal, and GoDaddy to get that figured out, what it is, those three entities. And they don't talk to each other. I have to talk to them. And it's Carol says, I agree. Oh, Cindy says Friday's temperature was the coldest day in August since 1910. Wow. Wow. And Spencer says granddaughter is with us, 11 years old. She is dreaming of being a dermatologist at 11. Wow. Well, foster that. You know, I don't always say this. Very often do I say this, but that little girl, some form of medicine she would do great in. And I know this is a little weird to say because you can't prove it. They're all these things that I talk about with this are subjective, but I will say that that has to do with a past life memory that she still holds onto. Um, some form of medicine. I won't say dermatology because I'm not seeing that. Could be though. I'm just not seeing it. But what I'm saying is that she would do well in some form the counseling side of medicine as a PA, a nurse, a doctor, whatever. But I would foster that. Let's see. Carol says, yes, I agree. Janice says, I turned on the heat. I have it on right now. I turned it up to 70 today. And she says, I felt the temperature drop and assumed we would get hail yesterday. I did too when I heard the rain. Um, she says, I'm also done with the Mercury retrograde stuff too. Yep. Everybody, every single person I've talked with about it says the same thing. It's been hard the last, what, 2.5 weeks. We only have, I think it's like 5 or 6 more days, 4 more days, 5 days. Anyhow, then it goes direct again. I can't wait. Uh, Erin, she says, this is my first time here. Does a question have to be asked or is general allowed too? I prefer to have you ask a question. I can zero in on it and get a little bit better. If I do general, it takes a while and um, it's too broad or specific. Ask me a question, it's easier. But if you have to ask general, then that's okay too. Debbie, who is an astrologer and lives down in Copperas Cove, Texas, we've known Debbie for decades. Debbie says that August 28th, so it's 4 more days, Mercury retrograde ends on the 28th. So it can't come too soon. And then it kind of hangs around for about a week, the shadow of it, they call it. But it's much, much, much less, if anything. Um, but it's still kind of there. And it happens 3, sometimes 4 times a year that Mercury goes into retrograde. And I will say this. You know how they say the moon has an effect on people? The moon has an effect on people, trust me. Uh, I've seen it in my work. I've seen it in personal. I've seen it in the metaphysical, world and all over the place, even in family members. The moon has an effect on people, and just as effectively as the moon does. So, in whatever case it is. Okay, Crystal's over in Northeast Washington, the most north and east you can get. And Crystal says she had to turn on a little electric heater too. So that's it's not just us. That's kind of good to know. It's not just us. But it's a wide path here because we're in the Seattle Tacoma area and she's in the Northeast Washington, across the mountains from us. Debbie says, I am waiting with bated breath for Mercury retrograde to end, LOL. Aaron says, I think so too. The moon has pull on waves and farming, so why not people? Yeah, and we're made up of water. The majority of us is water. So why not uh, people? I agree. Um, Aaron, you didn't type in your question. Do you want to have a general, something general? You said is general allowed too. Ask for general. It's whatever you want, whatever you're looking for. If you want me to, I can do it. Um, we're getting close to the end. Just remember, today is a 22, which is a master number in numerology. If you break it down to two, it's a four. I mean, if you break it down, it's still a two. But anyhow, um, you generally don't break down master numbers, what Sharon told me. So take control of the journey or the process that you're on, and especially today regarding relationships. Okay. But even in general, in other things, if you're going out to buy a car, take control. Don't let yourself get bamboozled. If you're or take control, get the right thing. Just whatever it is, just do it. That's, I guess, the best way to say it. Um, and let's see. Okay, it's been 47 minutes, so I think I'm going to call it a day. Um, I'm going to get this show posted to the archives, and you guys can watch it again if you want to, or refer it to people. But give us a like and a share on the platform you're on, and the more people know about it, the better. The better. Erin, there she goes. Okay, she says, "Can you describe the type of person I should be looking for in terms of a relationship? I feel like I've grown and moved on from people who I don't see fit." Okay, Erin, psychic hit. You're kind of like my wife. You have for drawing people to you. Okay. What tends to be drawn to you are people who feel your higher vibration. And you have to deal with them, you have to put up with them, or you have to learn how to nicely not deal with them, I guess is a good way to say it. But you're looking for things on a certain level, and other people that are attracted to you or drawn to you are on a different level. And yeah, it's not to say you can't have a long-term relationship with them. Um, but it's going to take work. So don't just think that the next person you meet is going to not know or act or feel the way you do on things, and it'll be okay, that they'll just happen. But that's why you're drawn to people, are drawn to you, um, and they don't look at things the way you do, or feel them the way you do. And I'm curious to know if you're a Pisces, because your feelings, I want to know, and I don't know why I say this because I can't tell you, but wherever your Pisces is in your chart, I think is the reason why this happens. But you're a kind of a empath person, and your Pisces can have a big play on that, a big part in that. Um, that's why you feel like you've grown and moved on from people who you don't see fit. She says, I have a lot of it in my chart. I'm an Aries though. Okay. Yeah. And now see, this is a good point. We have a she's mainly water. We have an adopted son. We call him our adopted son, one of them. We have a couple of adopted sons that are close friends of our son. Sharon says it feels like you're a fixer. So, Aaron. But uh, Aries, Aries are you can't tell them a lot, but you can tell them. Okay. And so it's up to you. You're the person who has to take control in the relationships. And you're a fixer. And the thing you need to do is stop looking for who can I fix next that's on my level. Because if someone's on your level, they don't really need to be fixed. They just need to be incorporated. And that way it will work out much better for you. So that makes sense. But do I see or describe the type of person I should be looking for in terms of a relationship? Someone who is on the order of you energetically of um, like a priest. It could be a metaphysical minister. Don't hold it to a religious thing. But like someone, a counselor or a psychologist or psychiatrist, someone who really has their own self together. Okay. And someone who is, and I'm going to say this, is pretty much um, a professional person. So that would fit the mold or the mode of a counselor, psychologist, psychiatrist, uh, a minister. The somebody to be a minister in the metaphysical, you have to act and carry out the life. You can't just be it for when you do a wedding and then the rest of the time you're off um, getting high and partying and whatever. It's a person you have to live your convictions. And that's the kind of person that you want, someone who lives their convictions. Remember the song, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. That's the kind of person you don't want to be around. Someone who jumps from one thing to another, steady. Um, and that's not being boring either. Sharon says she needs someone who is as strong as she is and doesn't need her, but loves her for her, not what she can do for him. There you go. That's the other half's input on that. Okay. So that's what you need to look for, someone who is as strong as you and doesn't need your love, but loves her for her, not what she can do for him. Mind blown. I had to do that. That's a good one. That was a good one, dear. Okay, this has been. I appreciate your questions. Hopefully, I'll get my wife back here in the our little studio office in the house here, and on Saturday, and she can address you guys personally with me. Aaron, you're welcome. Thanks for joining in from Twitch. We don't get a lot of people from Twitch, but when we do, we appreciate it. So, Jana, hearts, thank you. Um, we'll be back on Saturday at 1. At least I will. I don't know if my wife will. I will, but I think she's going to be here. That's a psychic hit. I think so. Unless things really go south on her. It looks like she's on that path to where she'll be able to sit up and do a show with me and have the strength for that. Her back is healing. It's just that it's taking time. The doctor said it was going to be an 18-month journey. So the surgeon, back surgeon, and he did a wonderful job on her surgically. So anyhow, she's good. Beautiful background. Reminds me of Vashon Island. You're close because it's Vashon Island. That is Vashon Island. It's in Puget Sound here, off of the Seattle Tacoma waterfront. So, oh yeah, you said he means Tuesday. I did mean Tuesday. That is Vashon though, Crystal. That's a good point. Nothing on Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. Sorry, Jana. I did mean Tuesday. Crystal, you're welcome. Thanks for joining in, and all of you guys. Thanks for for joining in and the questions and saying hi. I hope everybody has a good weekend. Just remember to maintain control, and that might be to maintain your control of your mouth at the same time. So it's all about relationships, especially today. Um, so anyhow, have a good weekend, and I will. I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday with my wife, and we shall see what happens. Again, go to our website, psychicspectrum.com. Oh, I didn't take that off the screen. There we go. And you'll find out all the information you need and how to join in online with us, especially on a Wednesday. It's cool. It's fun. Anyhow, like our theme song says, what a wonderful world. And as my wife says to her father, because that's a message between them, she says, love you, Daddy.